My sister posted on Instagram, family getaway in Aruba, with 14 photos. Not one showed me or my kids. When I commented, looks incredible, she answered, it's for close family only. I liked it and replied, congrats. Hope you saved the receipts. See, I'd reserved everything on my credit card as a gift. At 2 a.m. Aruba time, I phoned the resort, changed the payment method on the reservation. By sunrise, have you ever been blindsided by your own family? Left feeling like an outsider, utterly erased from a picture you helped paint, just to be told, it's for close family only? Well, that's exactly what happened to me, and let me tell you, that single comment changed everything. I was sitting in my patrol car, dinner break, parked behind some closed strip mall, picking at a cold burrito. My kids were at home, still dreaming about a family beach trip. Maybe next year, they'd said. That's when I saw it pop up on my feed, my sister Brooke's Instagram post. Family vacation in Aruba. The caption glowed, dripping with sugary sentiment. 14 perfect photos of turquoise water, sun-kissed smiles, and a family that somehow, inexplicably, didn't include me or my children. There was Brooke, her husband, and their boys, my parents in matching linen, my younger brother Ryan and his girlfriend on a sunset sail. Kids buried in sand, tropical drinks in hand, #family time. My thumb hovered over the screen, my heart pounding in my ears. After a solid minute of just staring, I typed, looks amazing. Her reply was instant, brutal. It's for close family only. Close family. My jaw actually clenched. I could feel the blood rushing to my ears. I just stared. Then I did something that probably confused the hell out of her. I liked her comment. And then I typed my reply, congrats. Hope you kept the receipts. Because, you see, I had booked everything on my credit card. Flights, resort, airport transfer, all of it. My treat. An early Christmas. And at 2 a.m. Aruba time, knowing they'd all be passed out from the sun and cocktails, I called the resort. Hi, I said, my voice steady, giving the confirmation number I knew by heart. I need to update the payment method on this booking. By sunrise, my sister's close family-only trip was still there, but my card? My card was gone. Look, I'm Landon. I'm 39, a patrol sergeant in Florida. Divorced. I've got 2 incredible kids, Eli, 11, and Harper, 8. We live in a small rental, 20 minutes from the beach if traffic's good. My ex-wife and I, we're not best friends, but we're not at war either. We share custody 50-50, text about homework and soccer. It works. My parents, they're still in the same suburb where I grew up. Brooke, she's 10 minutes from them, in a big house with a pool. Ryan, my little brother, he's renting their basement, getting back on his feet, a phrase that's been stretched over 6 years now. And then there's me, the cop, the one with the stable job and good benefits. That's how they always talk about me. Like I'm not a person, just a walking paycheck with a badge. It started small, I guess. Years ago, my parents were short on their mortgage. I slipped them $1,500. Then another $800 for utilities. When Brooke's husband's truck died, I co-signed, handed over $2,000 for the down payment. I paid for Ryan's DUI lawyer. Covered my parents' property tax when Dad forgot. When Brooke wanted a big 60th for Mom, I put the deposit on my card. You get points, Landon. It's good for you, too. It was always framed like I was helping myself. Meanwhile, my kids, they got the leftovers. Invited to cousin days if someone remembered. Maybe half the family pictures, always on the edges. Last Thanksgiving, Brooke posted her My Whole World collage, 8 photos. I was in one, blurry in the background. My kids weren't in any. Once, Harper drew a picture of our whole family for my parents. Everyone labeled Grandma, Grandpa, Aunt Brooke, Uncle Cole, the baby cousins. She drew herself and Eli, holding hands right in the middle. My mom just smiled, oh, that's cute, and pinned it behind a takeout menu. Next time we visited, it was gone. I told myself it didn't mean anything, that my parents were just forgetful, that Brooke was just self-absorbed. I kept paying, kept showing up. Kept hoping they'd finally see Eli and Harper the way I saw them. Honestly, I should have known better. The Aruba trip. That was supposed to be my big olive branch. My let's reset. I got my annual bonus in July. Cops don't make crazy money, but after 10 years, I get a decent stipend for overtime. I'd been saving. I had enough breathing room to do something big. Brooke had been in my ear for months. We never do anything all together. Mom would chime in, "You're never off work." Like, crime followed my schedule. Wouldn't it be nice for Dad's heart to relax somewhere warm? So, when I saw a deal, 7 nights, all-inclusive, kids stay free under 12, I jumped. 3 rooms. 1 for my parents, 1 for Brooke and her crew, 1 for Ryan and his girlfriend. All on my card. Think of it as a thank you for all the help with the kids. I told my parents, "I'll cover lodging, you just handle your flights." They balked. I caved. "Okay, I'll book the flights too. Pay me back when you can. No rush." I didn't mention I wouldn't be going. We were short-staffed. I'd already burned my vacation for court dates, sick kids, training. No way I could get 7 consecutive days in February without screwing my squad. It sucked. My kids took it hard. "Why can't we go too?" Harper asked, legs swinging. "Because it's complicated, bug," I said. "Daddy's schedule is weird." Eli, old enough to smell a lie, just stared at me. "You're paying for everybody else to go," he said, "but we're not." I promised them. Maybe we'll do our own trip later. Just us. I swore I'd make it up to them. The Aruba group chat? It popped off for weeks. Brooke sent packing lists, outfit ideas, links to must-do excursions. Mom texted about sunscreen like she'd never seen the sun. Ryan bragged about the swim-up bar. No one asked what my kids and I would be doing that week. 2 days before they flew out, I dropped by my parents' house with printed itineraries and confirmations. If I didn't, Mom would claim she never got anything. On the kitchen table, a stack of new beach towels, embroidered with everyone's names. "Cute," I said, picking one up.
Grandma, Grandpa, Brooke, Cole,
Owen, Liam, Ryan, Jenna. No Eli. No Harper. No Landon. I looked up. "You didn't get towels for my kids?" My mom didn't even look up. "Well, we were thinking this trip is more for the households that are going. It's complicated with custody, you know. We didn't want to step on any toes with their mother." "They're literally my kids," I said, my voice tight. "There are no toes to step on." She just shrugged. "We'll do something for them later." Something later. I walked out of there with my throat clenched, but my mouth shut. The flights were booked. The rooms paid for. Too late. As Brooke loved to say when my parents did something hurtful, and I dared to bring it up. So I swallowed it. The night they flew out, Eli and Harper stayed up late at my place, watching stupid beach vlogs. "Maybe next year," Eli said, his voice flat. "Yeah," I replied. "Maybe." I went to work the next morning on 4 hours of sleep. And that afternoon, on my dinner break, in the squad car, I saw the Instagram post. Her caption was long and sugary. "Finally making memories with my whole family in paradise." 3 heart emojis, a palm tree. Tagging my parents, Ryan, the resort, the airline. Not tagging me. There were my nieces and nephews building sandcastles. My parents in a cabana. My dad's big belly out. My mom's straw hat, the one I'd paid for at Target. Ryan holding up a plate of fish like he'd caught it himself. I zoomed in on one of the group shots. Brooke had made them all wear matching shirts. Light blue, white script. Walker Family Vacation 2025. I read it 3 times. Walker. My parents' last name. Mine, too, before I took my ex-wife's. I switched back after the divorce. My kids? They kept their mom's last name. Close family, Brooke's comment had said. My stomach dropped. Close family, as in married couples with shared last names. Full-time grandkids who live in the right zip code. People who don't bring complicated kids and schedules into the picture. I typed then deleted 3 different replies. 1. Asking flat out, "You know I paid for this, right?" Another, tagging every photo with "Where are my kids?" One where I told her exactly what she could do with her matching shirts. Instead, I kept it calm. "Congrats. Hope you kept the receipts." I put the phone face down, finished my cold burrito, answered a shoplifting call, settled a neighbor dispute. But the words sat in my head like a stone. Harper's face when she saw those towels. Eli's eyes on the beach vlogs. My mom's dismissive, households that are going and complicated with custody. Like we were the messy part of the family they had to work around. At midnight, I dropped my kids off at their mom's. Told them I loved them. Drove back to my apartment. Sat on the edge of my bed, still in uniform. At 2 a.m. Aruba time, I made the call. The resort's hold music was steel drum versions of pop songs. I sat there with my notebook open, staring at the scribbled confirmation numbers from months ago. "Thank you for holding. This is Carla at Guest Services." "Hey, Carla," I said, my voice sounding calmer than I felt. "I'm calling about a group reservation. I'm the primary cardholder. I need to change the payment method on file." She asked for the confirmation code. I read it out. "Spell my last name." "Yes, Mr. Walker. I see it here. 7 nights, 3 rooms, all inclusive." "Right," I said. "I need to remove my card as the primary payment method, effective immediately."
She paused.
"Okay, so, you want to cancel the reservation?" "No," I said. "They can keep their rooms. I just don't want my card associated with any charges at all." Another pause. I could practically hear her brain doing the math. "You're the one who paid the deposit," she said carefully.
"Yep.
"And I understand I won't get that back.
Consider it a gift."
But as of right now, I don't authorize any further charges to my card. I need a note on the booking that a new payment method will be required at check-in and for any incidentals." She hummed. I heard her typing. "We can definitely remove your card and flag the account," she said. "They won't be able to check in tomorrow without putting down a new card, but sir, it's going to be awkward for them." I almost laughed. "I can live with that," I said. "Can you send me an email confirming the card is removed?" A few clicks. "Yes, I've emailed it to the address on file." "Anything else today?" "One more thing," I said. "There are airport transfers booked under my name for arrival tomorrow. Charged to my card. Can those be canceled?" She checked. "They're within the 24-hour window, so they're non-refundable. But we can remove your card and move the charge to the main room upon arrival." "Do it," I said. 5 minutes later, my inbox pinged. "Payment method removed. Card ending in 4412, no longer on file." I stared at that little green check mark like a lifeline. Then I opened my bank app. For years, I'd had 2 recurring transfers set up. $500 on the first to my parents' joint account for bills. $200 every other Friday to a savings account I shared with Brooke and Ryan, labeled Family Fund. That account had paid for a new grill, a dishwasher, a weekend at Disney for Brooke's kids, because it's once in a childhood, Landon. I canceled both transfers. The app asked, "Are you sure you want to stop this recurring payment?" Yes, I was sure. I redirected the $700 into a new savings account, labeled it Eli and Harper Trips. I took a screenshot. Balance, $0. Future transfers scheduled. I didn't send it to anyone. I just sat there, finally breathing all the way into my chest for the first time in months. I didn't call. I didn't text my sister to warn her. I went to bed. They landed in Aruba around noon the next day. I know because my mom posted a blurry airport selfie. Long day of travel. Worth it for this view. Palm tree and airplane emoji. My phone started buzzing about 40 minutes later. First, a call from my mom. I let it ring. Then a text from Brooke. "Brooke, why is the card declined?" 10 minutes later. "Brooke, answer your phone." Then, "Brooke, they're saying we can't check in without a card on file. What is going on?" I was in the briefing room, half listening to the lieutenant. My phone vibrated on the table, trying to escape. When I didn't reply, she escalated. "Brooke, Landon, this is not funny. Mom is freaking out. They're making Dad stand at the desk like he's in trouble. Fix this now." I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and slid it into my pocket. 2 hours later, during a lull, I checked again. 10 missed calls, 16 texts across the family group chat and direct messages. My mom, "Honey, something's wrong with your card. The resort is saying it's not valid. Did the bank make a mistake? Can you please call them?" Then, not long after, they're asking us to put our own card down. Your father is very embarrassed. This isn't like you. Ryan, dude, what are you doing? They don't have room on their cards. You know that. Brooke again. Are you seriously doing this now? We're already here. And then the one that told me everything I needed to know. Brooke, is this because I said close family on my post? OMG, you're being so dramatic. The kids didn't even see it. There it was. Not "I'm sorry." Not "that was crappy to say." Not "of course your kids are family." Just "you're being dramatic." I sat in my patrol car, in the shade of an empty lot, and typed my first and last reply. To answer your question, I wrote, "This is because you and Mom keep making it clear that my kids aren't part of the real family in your eyes." I paused, deleted half of what I wanted to say, then finished. "I'm not your backup bank. I won't fund a family my kids aren't part of. You have your close family with you. Use your own cards." I hit send. 3 dots blinked for a long time. Then Brooke. Wow. So you're going to punish your own parents like this? After everything they've done for you? I blocked the group chat. Blocked Brooke's number. Left my parents' line open, but turned off notifications. For the rest of my shift, I answered noise complaints, wrote reports, broke up a bar fight. Every time my radio crackled, I listened. Every time my phone buzzed, I ignored it. When my shift ended, I drove not to my apartment, but to the cheap travel agency on the corner next to the laundromat. They still existed somehow, with fading brochures in the window. "Hey," I said to the woman behind the desk. Carmen, her name tag read. "I need something for a long weekend. Somewhere drivable. 2 kids, 1 dad. Nothing fancy." She flipped open a binder like it was 1,998, circling cabins and beach motels within a 3-hour drive. I picked a little rental on an usually ignored stretch of coast, 2 hours north. 3 nights, off-season discount, small kitchenette, shared fire pit. Total came to about what 1 night at the Aruba resort cost. I put it on the same card I just freed up. The fallout from Aruba didn't hit all at once. From what I gathered later, through a cousin and some passive-aggressive Facebook posts, they ended up putting my parents' one remaining credit card on file. The limit was low. They spent the week arguing at the front desk about incidentals. My mom posted almost nothing after that first airport selfie. No sunset photos. No "my whole world" captions. Back home, my cousin Jess texted me. A number I'd forgotten I had. "Jess, just so you know, we heard what Brooke said on that post. It was not okay. We were talking about it at Grandma's." Then, "Jess, your kids are absolutely family. If you ever do a cousin's trip with them, invite me first." I sat in my car outside my apartment and read that twice. I hadn't realized how badly I needed someone else to say it. My parents, meanwhile, chose their usual script. A week after they got home, my mom called. I answered this time. "Hi, Mom." She sighed, like she was already exhausted. "I don't even know where to start, Landon. That was humiliating. Your father was at that desk arguing like some irresponsible. You know we can't afford those holds on our accounts." "You could if you stopped going out to dinner 4 times a week," I said before I could stop myself. She huffed. "We're not talking about that attitude right now. We're talking about what you did." "What I did?" I repeated. "Not what you said. Not what Brooke said. That Instagram thing," she said, dismissive. "You know your sister jokes around. You always take things so personally. This was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. You ruined it." There was a long silence. "Mom," I said finally, "did you notice anything missing from the towels or the shirts?" She hesitated. "We weren't trying to exclude the kids. It was just easier that way. Their last name is different, and your situation is complicated." "Complicated?" I repeated. "I'm not having this conversation again," she snapped. "Family doesn't do this to each other.
Cut people off.
Embarrass them over money. Your father is hurt. I'm hurt. I could hear my dad muttering in the background. Ask Dad something for me, I said. Ask him if he remembers how many months I've been sending you $500 for bills. Ask him who paid the property tax. Ask him whose card that resort almost charged into the ground. We never asked you to, she cried. You did. I cut in, calm. Sometimes directly, sometimes with hints. But you did. And I did it because I thought we were all in this together. I took a breath. But I'm not going to keep pouring my paychecks into a family that treats my kids like they're part-time. That is not fair, she snapped. It's exact, I said. From now on, you're off my accounts. No more monthly money. No more vacation cards. If you want to see us, you can call and make plans. But I'm done funding things that my kids are excluded from. Her voice went cold. So that's it. You're cutting us off like strangers. I looked at the framed drawing on my wall. Harper's picture of all of us at the beach, a place we hadn't even been yet. I'm protecting my kids, I said. You can call it whatever you want. She started to say something, then stopped. The line went quiet. We hung up without saying goodbye. The first weekend of March, I loaded the trunk of my old SUV with 2 beat-up suitcases, a cooler, and a bag full of dollar store sand toys. Eli insisted on bringing his football. Harper brought half her stuffed animals. We drove 2 hours north, stopping for gas station snacks, and once because Harper had to pee right now. The cabin wasn't fancy. The kitchen linoleum peeled a little. The couch sagged. The ocean view was more of a peak of water if you stood on the picnic table, but the sand was clean, the water was quiet, and there was a fire pit with a ring of plastic chairs. 3 of them, to be exact. We spent the first afternoon building lopsided sandcastles, letting the kids get soaked in their clothes because I forgot how quickly they went for the water. That evening, after grilled cheese on paper plates, Eli and I dragged 2 of the plastic chairs down closer to the waterline. Why are you leaving that one up there? Harper asked, pointing to the lone chair still by the fire pit. Saving it, I said. For who? She asked. Pause, then a gentle, knowing smile. I almost said, for anybody who decides to treat you like you matter. Out loud, I just shrugged and said, maybe for another time. We sat there as the sky turned orange, then pink, then dark blue. Is this a vacation? Harper asked, snuggled up in my hoodie. Yeah, bug, I said. This is our vacation. Even if it's not fancy? Eli asked. I looked at him. He wasn't being ungrateful. He was checking the rules, trying to figure out if this counted, if his friends would laugh. Especially because it's not fancy, I said. No one can uninvite us from it. He smirked a little at that. Later, back inside, Harper pulled out a notebook and markers. She sat at the little table, tongue poking out, drawing. What are you making? I asked. Our family vacation, she said, so I can put it on my wall. When she was done, she handed it to me. It was us, just the 3 of us, standing on a lumpy yellow beach with blue squiggles for waves. She'd drawn the 2 plastic chairs we sat in. Behind us, up by a little square she labeled cabin, was a single empty chair. I raised an eyebrow. That one's for Grandma and Grandpa, she said, if they want to come next time. If they're nice. I swallowed. Yeah, I said quietly. If they're nice. When we got home Sunday night, sunburned and smelling like campfire, my phone had a few missed calls from my mom. 1 voicemail. I didn't listen. Instead, I taped Harper's drawing to the fridge. Monday morning, I set my alarm early, made lunches, drove the kids to school. On the way, Eli said, that was better than Aruba, anyway. You've never been to Aruba, I said, amused. He shrugged. Don't need to. We had you. I dropped them off, watched them walk in, backpacks bumping. On my way to the station, I stopped at the bank. I signed the final papers to remove my name from the old family fund account. The teller stamped something, slid me a copy. Anything else today, Sergeant Walker? She asked. No, I said. That's everything. When I walked out into the sunlight, my phone buzzed again. A text from my cousin Jess. Jess, Saw your kids' beach pics. They looked so happy. Next time I'm bringing my girls. I smiled. Next time, I thought, we'll bring more chairs. For now, 3 was enough. The empty ones would stay empty until someone decided my kids were worth more than a towel and a matching shirt. And if that never happened, that was fine, too. We had our own beach now, our own drawing on the fridge, our own definition of family. And I was finally done paying for anyone else's. So, what would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to draw a hard line with family to protect your own? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I really want to hear your stories.